I don't know about you, but I do not like conflict. I try not to pursue it. I try not to get involved in it. But inevitably in leadership, there are times that there are conflicting views and conflicting sides, and I have to immerse myself in those situations and relationships and hopefully find peaceful resolution. When you are praying in your life, sometimes you go to the Lord because you are in the midst of a conflict. What do you do when you face opposition? Maybe not just a friendly disagreement where there are friendly people that have opposing ideas, but I'm talking about the heat of the battle. When you're facing opposition, where you're having to take that stand, when you are, if you will, principally based saying this is something that I have to do, and you're meeting great resistance. How do you do that? How do you go to God in prayer for strength and energy in the midst of those difficult times? Perhaps there's no better model in all of the scriptures than the Apostle Paul. The Apostle Paul was an individual who faced many, many battles in his life, partly because of his background, partly because of his radical salvation on the Damascus Road, partly because of the role that God called him to play as an apostle of the church, one of the church fathers, if you will, setting the course for the way the church would go in future centuries. He faced hot, heated opposition. But it's interesting in the midst of that, what the Apostle Paul did. Instead of being a character that was just trying to create conflict and create controversy, he was someone who reasonably tried to speak to people in a spirit of love. Sure, he had his moments where I'm sure he wished he had behaved better. All of us do. But the bottom line was in Paul's life that in the midst of opposition, he went to the Lord, whether he was in a Philippian jail cell, whether he was facing Herod Agrippa, whether he was in the midst of talking to others about the faith who were heated against him. Here's what we know. When he went to God, he asked God for grace and strength and courage and kindness as he faced opposition. The fruit of the Spirit, he wrote, was love, joy, peace, long-suffering, goodness, kindness, meekness. And that was the kind of life he lived as he faced opposition. And it was saturated in the context of prayer, him asking God for help.